So Steam just finished up hosting their FPS Fest, and man, there was some gems in there. So look, my overall goal is gonna be able to tell you about all these different titles that just don't get enough popularity, or at the very least try to tell you about titles that you should probably avoid. Since the pile of games is ever growing, I'm gonna try to make things easy on myself. I'm gonna use demos or anything similar as a jump off point. If you can't attract me with that, there's little to no hope. So let's see if I can sell you on these games in 5 minutes or less, or at the very least explain to you why you shouldn't even waste your time. Angerfoot is a fast-paced action FPS made by Free Lives and published by Devolver Digital. It reminds me of a simplified Hotline Miami type of game, but in first person. The premise of the game is hilarious. You live in Shit City enjoying life with your girlfriend. Then someone decides to mess with you by stealing a pair of your precious shoes. Now it's your job to go and kill everyone who was involved with guns and the power of the foot. The goal of the game is to get to the end of each stage as quickly as possible without dying. If you die though, you're sent back to the beginning of the level and then you have another chance at it again. The concept is super simple, but man, it's super addicting. This game has a very distinct visual style and vibe. The main character has a really cool style that can be seen in between each level. Just seeing him enjoying being a goon brings a smile to my face. When you die, the enemies join in on the fun too, dancing it up and taunting you after every time you lose. Now there's a wide variety of challenges inside this game. They are tough though, but not impossible. For example, one of the challenges is you have to try to clear as many stages as you can by only using kick attacks. Another challenge is you have to try to beat the stage in under a certain amount of time. These challenges also have meaningful payoffs as well. Each time that you complete a different challenge, it unlocks a different type of shoe. And these shoes provide a whole different types of abilities to them. One of the abilities I fell in love with was the ability to be able to slow down time every time you kick down a door. Another one, which was really good for boss fights, were these shoes that essentially affected gravity and allowed you to jump a little bit higher. So this game is also kind of a puzzle game in a way. The levels and the placement of the enemies are always inside the exact same spot. So you can take the time to come up with different strategies on how to clear a room whenever you decide to repeat a stage. Also, the levels are very short. Each level can be cleared in under 45 seconds if you really push the pace. Don't get it twisted though, this does not make it easy to do in any form or fashion. This game also has a decent variety of enemies and level designs. In the demo, I faced around 7 different enemy types and each one came at you in different ways. Some will be chucking grenades while others will be trying to melee you or just blow your head off with guns. The devs did a really good job of laying things out. It's super fast paced but also coherent at the same time, if that makes any sense. I was never overwhelmed even though there was a lot going on all at once. The gunplay and the melee feels on point. Using the guns was a breeze and fairly easy to be accurate with. I'm not the best FPS player on the planet, but I felt right at home being able to play this game. The game also has a great sense of humor. I mean, you shoot guns with your hands, but for some reason you eat and answer your phone with your feet. Which, explain that logic. Also, having the whole thing set up around your kicks being stolen is it just made me laugh. Currently, there is no clear health bar inside the game. You kind of just have to assume that you can only be hit maybe 2 to 3 times by guns and only once by melee attacks. Right now, there's no clear indication on what your health bar really is. At certain times, I was able to take 2 shots, sometimes I was able to take 3 shots from guns. The only thing that was really consistent were bomb and melee attacks, which will kill you instantly if they make contact. Other than that, I really can't complain about anything else inside this game. So let's talk about the actual gameplay loop. You start each stage with just your melee ability. You'll move from room to room with the end goal being in order to reach the end of the stage. Keep in mind, you don't have to kill every single enemy in order to reach the end of the stage either. So each room that you jump into is filled with different types of enemies. And sometimes there'll also be different types of obstacles as well, like acid water or a squid creature. Yeah. You can steal the enemy's weapons once you kill them, but you have limited ammo with each weapon, which is all good though because there's plenty of enemies around to be able to steal weapons from. The level and the enemy placement is always in the same place, so if you die, you should stand a better chance next time if you remember what's coming up next. At the end of the demo, you end up facing off against a boss that has 3 different phases to it. Now this boss, I will admit, really wasn't too hard. You basically just have to kick the vehicle to death and kill a couple melee enemies that come at you every so often. Every time you complete a stage, you can always go back and try to get a better time or kill more enemies if you like. After playing it for about 3 hours, I just still wanted so much more. If the full game is more of this, then yeah, we're in good hands. The gameplay loop is very addicting. The style and the story are just a cherry on top. This one was definitely a diamond. So please, go and try this one out for yourself whenever you have a chance. I highly doubt that you'll be disappointed. And there you have it. Another demo done and down in 5 minutes or less. Seriously though, I really look forward to doing more of these inside the future. Like I said before, this helps me be very concise about my thoughts and the direction of where I'm trying to go. Anyway, I really appreciate you guys for listening and riding with me for a little bit. If you have a chance and happen to check this one out, let me know what you guys thought about it inside the comments below. Other than that, I'll catch y'all later, and of course, life